in their favor.
Taking a closer look at the minion kills, Chaos at 28 minion kills to Cop's 32, so they're holding fairly steady. And in the mid lane, Reginald falling behind a little bit on Nyjaki's Morgana. Nyjaki is Morgana, who is an incredibly strong farmer, but Reginald's gonna have to make up those minion kills fairly soon.
Something Reginald has to be careful for in the middle lane is when Nyjaki pings level 6, he will often just flash right on top of his opponent and pop his ultimate. It allows him to get the guaranteed Dark Binding on top of Tormented Soil and just take him down with decreased magic resist. And Dyrus actually taunts in. They're going for a gank up top. Will they be able to pull it off?
Taunt going down onto Cop. There's the flash and the snare. Elements flashing out. Odd One getting exhausted. The Ignite going down onto Elements. There's the taunt from Dyrus. Could Elements go down? This could be first blood. Yes, it is. Dyrus is going to pick up first blood for TSM.
What a well-executed gank there by the Odd One. Elements needed to wait to use his flash until after the Twisted Advance had landed on him, because that Twisted Advance tracks through flash, and he just landed right on top of Elements after. And with that red buff on Maokai, there was just no escape. The gank in the 2v1 lane turns that around, and now Dyrus will ping 6 faster and be able to globally affect the game much faster.
TSM getting the opening that they wanted, especially on one of their solo laners. We said Curse needed to pick their fights, and the Odd One certainly picked his spot for that successful first blood gank. Nyjaki getting aggressive with Odd One jungle, but Odd One's going to be able to pick up those raids, no problem.
Knowing that Maokai is a very good early ganker, Curse was fairly ready for it, but he knew that Curse was going to be ready for it and waited until 6 minutes for his first gank. Used the flash at just the right moment. Great conversion and great planning by TSM. They were slow playing a bit in the quarterfinals, but their first act of aggression pays off this game.
And Dyrus showing what they learned from that match against Azubu Blaze. Looking at his minion kills, he has that first blood, but he also has 32 minion kills to West Rice's 14, and Curse swapping back. So they decided that the 1v2 not working as well as they wanted to, but in the top lane, Dyrus 2 levels ahead now.
And we actually see the Odd One getting the early boots of mobility, and he is just cruising into that lane. Here they come onto West Rice.
There's the taunt and the snare. West Rice is pulled out, but he has to flash out. He's going to get out of there with 50% health, but Odd One wants to camp this lane and keep that Vladimir down.
It may be more about just getting Dyrus going, because he can show up at any fight as long as his ultimate is there, and the stronger he gets there, the stronger the entire team becomes. Looking down at that bot lane, they swapped out of the 2v1s, as you said. There's a lot of practice that goes into 2v1 swapping, and TSM has a lot more experience, having fought against quite possibly the best 2v1 laners in the world, Azubu Blaze at MLG Summer Arena, and really, they're just showing how much they've learned.
Reginald's going to pick up this blue buff, and Dyrus will also be able to teleport wherever he wants unopposed. West Rice doesn't have anything he can do to cancel out that Stand United. So now that Dyrus is ahead, he can really have his way with the map.
He's going to have his way with West Rice up top, as well as with anything else. Vladimir not quite ready to deal with Shen at this point. You can see he has the Doran Shield and the 1 spellbook, but until he gets some spell vamp, until he gets some cooldown reduction, he's really just going to be at the mercy of Dyrus. Especially once Dyrus gets that Wit's End, he's going to be able to completely bully West Rice. It's going to be big trouble for Curse, how well Dyrus is dealing so far this game.
And despite Dyrus being ahead, Nyjaki still aggressing on Reginald as much as he possibly can. He is still ahead, 73 minion kills, 74 now to Reginald's 58. Reginald has the Ruby Crystal and the Mana Crystal, so we're going to see the Catalyst, probably an early Rod of Ages, but Nyjaki pushing, and trying to steal those rates to prevent Reginald from catching up in farm, and we could see a roam here.
He is level 7, he is walking through wards, however, they're getting the blue buff fed over. Reginald has to be very careful of Nyjaki's aggression, especially now that St. Vicious is level 6.
Oh,
unfortunately, the red buff actually ticked out and took the blue buff from Nyjaki. That could potentially allow Reginald to come back in this lane a little bit, knowing that Nyjaki doesn't have the free mana to harass with Dark Binding.
Reginald has the blue buff. He's probably communicated this to the Odd One sitting around the raids. Reginald has backed, he has grabbed a tier of the Goddess, so he still has that sitting on that Ruby Crystal. Probably going to build that into a Catalyst a little bit later, but right now he wants to charge that tier as fast as he can, get that extra damage from the mana.
He went the early Ruby Crystal because he knew of Nyjaki's aggression at level 6. He wanted to be able to withstand it if Nyjaki did go for him. potentially because he brought that extra health, Jackie decided not to go. Looking up at the top lane here, Dyrus harassing really, really hard, and he still hasn't even picked up that Wit's End. 2-level advantage already on top of Vladimir.
And 20 minion kills ahead. Taking a look at the goal, Dyrus is at 2650 to Westrice's 1840. So that first blood and that farm is really starting to show.
Taking a look a little bit at the bottom lane, you can actually see Chaos getting that advantage onto Cop already. 16 minion kills more. He is just straight up out farming right now. Cop's got to pick it up because we know how Chaos gets going.
And Jet, we don't typically see a Nunu Graves combination. What's the strength of that bottom lane combo?
This is really just about the late game for them, actually. Chaos likes the late game utility of being able to quick draw around and clean up fights, and the Blood Bowl is just going to allow him to auto-attack even faster. The strength of Nunu Graves really isn't even in the lane, which is why it's somewhat surprising that they're out-laning Blitz Corki so well. This really just comes down to Chaos and X Special's skill, because that's a bit of a late-game, mid-game matchup.
There goes Otto on the snare going down. Blood Boil from Westrice will dodge the taunt, but Westrice is ignited. He is getting low. He drops his Emo Blade. Couple more hits will do it. Dyrus standing united onto the Otto, so the Otto can loop around, and Westrice is going to get out with a sliver of health. Maybe a slight mistake from Dyrus.
Dyrus thought they had enough ticking damage onto Westrice to finish it off, but because of that gank, they are taking the Dragon down bottom, and there's that objective control by Curse, taking advantage of the gank top.
Curse has been devastating on their Dragon timers just as they spawn. Curse is there, taking the first Dragon of this game one. TSM's going to try and punish them for that by taking the top tower. Jack, how equivalent of an exchange is that? The tower for the Dragon.
Pretty much an even exchange. I would argue that for TSM, getting the tower is better than giving up the Dragon. This is just all about, quote, pressuring objectives. Even though they gave up the Dragon free, they're putting a lot of pressure on the top lane. You can look at the top lane tower and the bottom lane tower. They are both extremely low on health, below 500. It's really just when they want to take the towers, at the flip of a switch, they could potentially get both of those towers down and get a huge spike in global gold. They really just need to do that soon.
Both of those Curse towers are extremely low. Nijaki trying to rob the TSM jungle whenever possible. Westrice was able to push Dyrus and the Odd One off of that top lane, and looking at the gold, despite Curse grabbing that Dragon, they are only 300 gold ahead, so there's very little to separate these teams in this game one. St. Vicious looking to change that. He has his Oracles, and with the Shyvana, he's going to be able to ward clear extremely fast.
It's actually quite rare that the enemy jungler gets an Oracle's Elixir before the Odd One, but this could potentially give Curse a bit of superior map control. You can see they have all 4 wards in the river, so the Odd One's ganks, unless he comes directly up the lane, will be unsuccessful, whereas St. Vicious at this point can go pretty much wherever he wants because he's been going around and clearing up TSM's wards. This is quite good play by Curse, and it's very close right now.
Odd One getting those boots of mobility. He's looking to gank, he's looking to roam, has not gotten the Oracles, and he won't be able to do that much.
He's just walking through all those wards. They know exactly where he is.
He looped around to that mid, and he looked to go for the gank, but if he had walked through, Curse would have seen him and would have aggressed. Curse and Elements being aggressive in their own lane, trying to put some pain down on that bottom tower. Elements grabbing X Special, knocks him there. Cop getting the armor shred, a couple of missiles down, gets a big one on him, but X Special's going to be able to walk out there. Quick snack, and he'll be A-okay.
Good job not dying there. Both of them actually going for that resiliency early. This is what you see TSM supports do. They will get the Heart of Gold before the Philosopher's Stone. It gives you the same gold generation, but it makes you much more beefy in lane, and it's harder for them to burst you down. With that Heart of Gold, they could barely take him below half just because he's so beefy right there.
And Kaox still ahead of Cop, 125 minion kills to Cop's 113. Kaox has the double Doran's Blade, so he has the extra health, he has the extra life steal, and with the BF sword, he's going to be hitting that much harder. Cop, on the other hand, only has one Doran's Blade and the BF sword, so a pretty even build, but Kaox has that Doran's Blade advantage.
I want to take a look top here. Dyrus getting that Wit's End, but Westrice has done a great job at keeping his minion kills up. He hasn't really even had that much help, and he's still got that revolver, got the Sorcerer's Shoes, and really just sticking around. The big issue here, like we've said so many times already, is when the team fights start. Westrice can't get down. Dyrus can. Really, the next time the Dragon's up, that's when TSM's going to try to force something big.
And Dyrus had a 20 minion kill advantage, and Westrice has closed that. So he's not only been holding his own and getting his farm, he's been trying to bring that lane back to even. And we know when Vladimir hits level 9 and about level 11, he's going to be a lot scared with that 2-second transfusion.
The Odd One actually seems to be pretty much just farming. He's trying to keep pace with St. Vicious. He got caught up with a lot of wards, but he hasn't spent too much time going around trying to gank. That's a lot of farm for a Maokai when compared to a Shyvana. Only being down 16, considering how many more minions Shyvana is capable of killing, shows that the Odd One has been making a concerted effort to not fall behind St. Vicious. And so far, they're dead even.
Dyer's jumping onto Westred, gets the taunt out, trying to get as many auto attacks as he can. That key strike is hitting quite hard. Reginald burning his ultimate to clear the wave, as well as put them pinning down on Nijaki. Nijaki getting a blue buff, so they are even on that. St. Vicious, on the other hand, a couple pings going down, so TSM did see him, but he's going to go in, he's going to rob those raids. They're trying to starve Reginald out. Flash going in from the Odd One. Westred's counter flashing out, but Snare going down on the Odd One anyway. Pool and the ultimate. Nemo Blade going on. Darius is going to go over the dive. The taunt is down. The ignite is down. Will Oddman be able to take it out? He is committed to this, and he's going to take Westred out. 2-0 TSM.
They traded the tower damage much more successfully than they did last time, getting the last tick down. Nijaki trying to make it up for the Odd One, but those boots of mobility will kick in, and he's going to end up running away, picking on top lane, or at least trying to get Dyrus big.
That flash, counter flash from the Odd One. He was so disciplined in waiting for his snare, and the pool from Westrice makes Vladimir so difficult to gank, but the Odd One, super tanky. He has that Heart of Gold, he has that Philosopher's Stone, and now he has that Oracle's Elixir. So we're going to see some serious ward, counter ward action between St. Vicious and the Odd One.
The 300 gold picked up from that kill cues him to buying that 400 gold Oracle's Elixir. That's actually something that is much his style. He will build an Oracle's after a kill, just so it doesn't set him fatally far behind if he is to lose it. He's now looking to potentially gank bottom. This could be where TSM starts turning it up a bit. Odd One's got it. The pull goes off, and here comes the Odd One.
Element grabbing Chaos. Chaos is not the Chaos is dead. Cop taking him out. Odd One jumping in to try and counter gank. Cop does cleanse, and he's going to try and turn it onto the Odd One. Odd One dropping his ultimate. But while this entire exchange was happening, Dyrus was taking the first turret for TSM, so a successful gank bottom lane for Cop. And there's the ultimate going down onto Reginald. Reginald is ignited. He's going to flash through, and Nijaki is going to fall and getting the snare. Will he take him out? Yes, he will. Nijaki winning that 1v1 versus Reginald.
Continuing to chase onto Odd One as well. Curse just going punch for punch with TSM. You knew Chaos was trying to bait a pull. He just got a little too early, and they were able to finish him off, shutting down the 2v3. Then a counter roam by Nijaki, and the Dragon Timer is perfectly worked out for Curse. Could not be better. They picked this up uncontested, and that's going to give them a bit of a lead.
Curse gaming is like clockwork with these Dragon. There is number 2 for them. 17 minutes in, they are starting to take a bit of a lead, almost 2,000 gold.
Underdogs coming into this game, they get a tower top to trade back, and that's going to give them a 2,000 gold advantage. The snowball is actually going down bottom lane, and Chaos going right onto Elements.
Ignite going down onto Elements. Chaos flashing in. He wants this kill. He's going to continue auto-attacking. Mana Barrier goes down. And there's the execute from the ultimate. But Chaos is not done yet. He wants to. Will he get him? Yes, he will. There's the double kill. And also a turret.
Point counterpoint for TSM. They get aggressed on, they get taking the dragon down, but then Curse sticks around a little too long. TSM says, remember us, the new train just begins. They land the one ice ball, and there is no escape. Dyrus using his global presence, coming in, tanking the turret essentially for Chaos, and a crisp double kill. That's how they come back.
A 2,000 gold lead from Curse evaporated in that exchange. Double kill for Chaos. That is not where you want those kills. He's 2-1-0, 166 minion kills, and he's got his Bloodthirster.
That's going to be giving him a bit of a lead onto Cop. You can see the gold's still fairly close. 6,200 for Chaos, 5,800 for Cop. Graves slight edge, but a bigger edge when you factor in the fact that he has Blood Boil, and that is more gold than you realize.
And we're gonna take a look at a quick replay on that double kill.
So really, you can actually just see them. He's gonna wait until the mana shield drops before firing off his ultimate for the execute, and then they don't actually care about the tower here. They know they're faster, they have the Blood Boil, and they communicated that well in advance to know that Dyrus was gonna be in there to shield them. Good communication and team play by TSM.
See, Chaos is going to be able to snowball that lane out. Nijaki, though, with the smart roam before that, will Curse be able to counter how TSM has been countering them? It seems like Curse has an answer, and TSM has an even bigger answer. They are making sure that this game stays dead even. Very little to separate these two
St.
teams.
Vicious trying to clear out wards. They're actually going to jump right on top of him.
They're going down on St. Vicious. There's the Hemoplague, the ultimate from the Odd One. Is going to try and negate some of this damage. Westrice is pulled out. X-Special is exhausted, but Westrice is just going to nuke Chaos. St. Vicious chasing down X-Special. X-Special has silver health. There's the speed boost from St. Vicious. Will he get him? Yes, he will. So another exchange 2-0, but Reginald is there to try and clean up. This could be trouble for him. This is a 1v3 situation. There's just down. Reginald is dead. 3-4-0 in favor of Curse Gaming.
They were just there once again to counter aggression. Somehow they won a 2v3. TSM went in aggressive, but St. Vicious landed that ultimate right over all three members as the Vladimir ult was there. And that's the second time they've actually won a 2v3 engagement, and the second time that Nijaki has perfectly countered Reginald's roam and have it result in another kill. So really, Nijaki has been a step ahead of Reginald so far this game, and that's leading to that 3.5k gold advantage.
Looking at the points of the game that we talked to for Curse, as Nijaki takes down another turret for Curse Gaming, Curse has to punish the TSM aggression. They did just that. Reginald came up to try and clean up the way we've seen him do it so many times, and Curse said, nope, you're in a 1v3 and we're going to kill you.
Nijaki, despite having that blue buff taken away by St. Vicious' red buff early, has maintained an advantage over Reginald this entire time. 36 minion gold lead. The items aren't quite there yet for Reginald, but the Abyssal Scepter has been completed by Nijaki. That large amount of magic penetration he's gaining is yet to be countered by nearly anyone on TSM. Chaos, Reginald, and X-Special are all going to be taking nearly true damage from those Morgana ults. And really, with that Dragon control that Curse has, expect another battle for that when it comes up next.
At the European Regionals, we saw SK score a major upset against CLG EU. CLG EU was able to come back and get third, but Curse looks like they want to repeat that here at the North Americas Regionals. They are ahead and they want to build this lead. Nijaki and Elements are there. Could we see another hook? St. Vicious is looping around. The spell shield is there, and there's Reginald getting grabbed. And a massive battle. Nijaki going in and getting three members, but he's going to get nuked by Chaos. Reginald's going to go down as well. St. Vicious is going to try and get out of there, but another one-for-one exchange. Westrice, however, is there. Will something happen? X-Special getting ignited. The Hemoplague going down. Westrice is going to take him out. Hemoplague still on Dyrus. Odd One is out of position. Chaos doing his best to kite him. Ooh. The hook just missing the Odd One. So they're going to be able to get out of there, but still another one battle for Curse Gaming. 2-for-1.
And that could have been a lot more disastrous for TSM. They were barely able to kick off Nijaki's life right before his ultimate proc, so they were able to get out of that with a 2v1, and that was lucky for them. Not the best team fighting so far by TSM, despite burning that Dyrus ult. He's really only turned in minimal impact, creating that kill bottom lane. Other than that, Westrice has been doing a great job sticking with him and building up his farm. We have a replay of that last fight. We can see actually they exhaust Nijaki and he almost waits. He thought about waiting for his ultimate, but instead the first tick of it goes off with lower damage. They burst him down. St. Vicious actually starts running away and they wait for the converge. Here comes Westrice, here comes Koff. They all try to come flying in. They get down to X-Special and at that point they're just going to try to disengage. They've lost their CC because Morgana dies and TSM was able to just walk away. That hook would have ended Odd One's life.
That hook, indeed, Elements has been spot on, and every single time Curse has been winning those engagements or doing well, Elements has been there with the hooks. These engagements from Curse seem to be coming out of nowhere, and they are there and they are engaging as fast as they can, almost catching TSM off guard.
This is going to be very tricky for TSM as the game continues. They almost have to now counter Curse's aggression because of the two mid matchups. Nijaki is substantially more farmed than Reginald. It's hard to initiate for Reginald when you are behind. If he goes up for those rune prisons, he could die nearly instantly. Nijaki, it's on him. He's going for that Zani's Hourglass and the crisp timers. This objective not getting pressured by Team Solomon. Yet another Dragon. Number 3 for Curse.
In the quarterfinals, TSM was so strong with their timers, and Curse is almost outplaying them in that regard. That is the third Dragon for them in this game. They have had complete control of it, and they have extended their lead to 5,000 gold.
Right now you can tell they're kind of sitting back, trying to get Chaos a little bit farmed. They know they have the new Blood Boil late game, so as long as he keeps his farm comparable to Cobb, he will be stronger late. And normally, Chaos has to be mostly cleanup for TSM, but because Reginald's fallen slightly behind, he needs to get a lot more onus onto himself. Chaos really has to carry this one. Normally he cleans up all the kills, now he has to somewhat create them sometimes. This is a very dangerous thing for an AD carry when you have to play more aggressive. He's now in danger of the Blitzcrank hooks, of the Dark Linings from Najaki. He can't sit so far in the back, otherwise they'll lose the fights before he enters them.
Taking a closer look at that AD carry matchup, Chaos 3-2-0. He has his Phantom Dancer as well as his Bloodthirster. Cop on the other end getting the same build. Typically we see an Infinity Edge or a Trinity Force on that Corki, but Cop opting for that aggression and that sustain in the battles.
There's no wards up here for Chaos, and there could very well be, well, they just got spotted by that ward in the river, and they're charging. Will they be able to escape?
There's the speed boost. Saintfish is diving in with the ultimate. Elements is there. He just misses the hook. Great juke from X Special. That Blood Boy is going to help him out with the additional move speed. A couple of pings going down from Curse. It looks like they want to cut off TSM. They do have vision on them, so they know that they're there. Najaki is there, but the odd one will be able to help prevent them from getting caught out. Curse Gaming going to loop around this Baron, and we could see, but Westrice getting caught out. Ignite going down. Zahemo Plague to X Special. Westrice stealing a ton of damage.
Quite bad for Curse. Dyrus is split pushing on the side turret. They're forcing the Dragon, but they don't have a Shyvana ult. They do not have a Vladimir ult. If they do get a 5v5, if they can't take this Baron down in time, TSM could win a fight, but they might get this Baron. This is going to be huge.
Will Curse be able to take this Baron? They will, and they're going to turn onto TSM. So much damage going out onto Elements. Elements is going to flash out with a sliver of health. Najak is going to turn it around. Cop picking up and out before X-Special takes out Elements. And Dyrus, here he comes. He's got Westrice down. The snare going down onto Cop. Cop is low. There's the Zonius from Najaki. Dyrus firing the taunt a little bit early, but it doesn't matter. X-Special is going to pick up the kill. So TSM cleaning up that fight despite the Curse Baron.
Curse absolutely forced into action by Dyrus' split pushing. They were down the two ultimates, so even though they had the Baron buff on them, they did not have the team fight capability. TSM 3 for 1. That's the first team fight they've really come out on top. However, they gave up the Baron. They need to get a lot of objectives here while Curse is dead in order to make it worth it, because giving up that Baron is not only a lot of gold, it's still a lot of power on the two members that remain.
Cop is still there, and he still has Baron buff. Dyrus is going to go in. Pled's going down onto him, and Dyrus is going to drop immediately. Cop is going to get nuked by Reginald, but this fight is not over yet. X-Special caught out by St. Vicious. X-Special forced to flash. St. Vicious is not done with him. Quick snowball to the face means X-Special is going to be able to maybe get out of there, but Element still has that speed boost. Will X-Special be able to get up? This is a 2v1 situation. What is going to happen? Reginald there. He shoots.
Zeke's Herald from Nunu, so much lifesteal. That's Chaos carry. He was in danger. He was not waiting to clean up that fight. He took all the damage he could, and he just crushed onto that fight. A great chase by Curse. We have a replay of that last engagement. Look at this, the juke on the full, completely dodging it, but he still gets the ult. Look at Chaos quick drawing in the face of two members, a sliver of health. The Maokai ult saving him with the extra lifesteal. The Bloodthirster doing a whole bunch of work, and the total shutdown. Such a close chase by Curse, and TSM turning around that crucial moment.
Chaos not only survived that fight, he is now 4-2-5, 250 minion kills. He has another BS sword. He is at 10,000 gold to Cop's 9,400 gold. So you said Chaos is going to have to carry it. That's a great start.
Another BF sword. He's going to be building that into an Infinity's Edge. There's really not a huge amount of armor on Curse here. Saintfish is trying to build it up. Element's trying to build it up as well, but he's going to be the one now just taking out the majority of their members. Reginald getting a little bit more farm than that, and the split pushing by Dyrus needs to come into a bigger factor. You could see Curse didn't necessarily have an answer for that. They don't have someone that can put up one-on-one against Dyrus and prevent him from going in. So every time he split pushes, Curse has to force something really hard, and that puts him in a tough spot. So TSM really driving Curse into action with Dyrus' play.
5 members of Curse grouping up around this mid lane. They want to take out this turret. They're going to take it with little fanfare, but TSM is on the chase. There's the chunk out from Najaki. Curse is going to try and turn around with the Hemo Blade. Najaki's in the middle of this fight. He is extremely low. Dyrus is about to go down from top, but Reginald is on a killing spree, taking out St. Vincent, and a couple of trades later, Najaki is going to take out Dyrus, but Reginald with the double kill. Top going down, and Element is going to go down. That is ace number 1 of this game 1 for TSM, turning this game around.
unreal play by Chaos. Even after sitting that entire team fight in the face of Curse, he's still out of there with full health. They know how to adapt to the situation. Reginald supporting the other carries of Chaos and just face tanking this turret. They know there's no threat from the members, and look at this. He dodges out. They could potentially get an inhibitor out of this.
It isn't normally, you don't normally see an AD carry tanking the turret, but in this case, TSM's going to make an exception, and with that exception, they are going to take the first inhibitor of this game one.
Still slightly down on gold, but they will be able to most likely pick up their first dragon here. You can see the team fights slowly turning into TSM's favor. They seem to be outplaying Curse here. They've got such a good initiate. They really forced Curse into fighting them just with how low Graves took Morgana in that pre-fight. First dragon in the game for TSM. How is Curse going to respond? Because that's two big team fights in a row that they've lost.
And not just that, Curse Gaming had an immense lead, and we are dead even. 30 minutes into this game, 16 kills to 2 in favor of TSM, 5 turrets to 4. So TSM's late game plays paying dividends and making sure that they stay in this game as well as get that inhibitor advantage.
Now that Rise has farm for Reginald, he is just a late-game turret of damage. Nyjack is really all about that front-loaded burst, and if they can't win the fight immediately, then TSM's going to clean up more, because TSM has a bunch of sustained damage and a bunch of burst resistance. The ultimate from the Odd One, when they can force the fights in the spots they want, are just doing so well because all the AoE damage from Curse is just not enough to take them down, and TSM sustained damage is going through. So what Curse needs to do is they need to not have those full, long 5v5 engagements like we had this last time. Let's take a look at the last fight and see how it all went down. So really, look at the damage down onto Nyjacky, and it just forces them to go in, but before any ultimates are even used, all of Curse is at half health. Chaos still in the fight. You can see him pinging down Nyjacky. It's really him and Reginald turreting down the damage, and watch this, he just destroys Cop, he destroys Westerice, and Elements goes, oh crap, I'm the only one left alive. Chaos not even hurt, easy kills.
And that Maokai ult negating so much magic damage. Odd One expertly placed that in the middle of Nyjacky and Westerice's ultimate, making them so much less effective, and that lifesteal from that Bloodthirster on KX, in addition to what is now an Infinity Edge and a Phantom Dancer, kept him at full health at the end of that fight.
Chaos now almost a full 2,000 gold ahead of Pop in the item builds, on top of him just having the Blood Boil buff from X Special, so an unreal amount of damage coming out from Chaos. So hard now. Really, it's on Elements and Nyjacky to try to catch him out of position. He doesn't have any defensive items. He has no GA, no Quicksilver Satch. He doesn't even have Cleanse. He's completely relying on his skill and positioning to survive in these team fights. So far, he's done it incredibly expertly, but this is a high-risk, carry-centric build. He cannot make a mistake if TSM wants to continue winning these team fights.
Ping's going down from fight for Curse, but if TSM engages like they have been, pushed out, but Reginald is there. He is still full health. He flashes in and he is unstoppable. Cop forcing out, trying to get a better position. He burns his cleanse. He is out of this fight though. Nyjacky has the Zonies down, but he is ignited. Zonia's burning most of it down, and Reginald finally gets shut down by Cop. And TSM though, there comes Dyrus, and there goes Cop. TSM, another brilliant ace, and they're gonna push down this top turret.
Try as they might to shut down Chaos, he quick drew and flashed away from Nyjacky's ultimate. He then essentially 1v1 St. Vicious, and they're going for the face tank on the tower. They're trying to end this game.
Odd One and Dyrus so tanky, and Chaos having so much damage. They are going to go for it. The first Nexus tower is going to go down. They are continuing on. Elements will be up in 7 seconds, but that doesn't deter TSM in the slightest. They're going to go straight for this Nexus and try to take this game one, and it looks like they are going to do just that.